si Alan Peter Cayetano, kung matapang ka, pumunta ka dito bukas, otherwise wag ka.
Tonight on The Big Story, a Senate divided. The minority bloc tells Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano to step down after majority members snubbed today's plenary session for a second day. Asking for reprieve. Facing trial for plunder and graft over the flood scam, Senator Jinggoy Estrada is set to file for online court hearings, while former DPWH Chief Manny Bonoan is looking at hospital arrest. And prosecutors versus the accused. The House prosecution team is rebuking Vice President Sara Duterte's move for the immediate dismissal of her impeachment case. Good evening, I'm Ces Orenia Drilon. We begin with the Senate failing to hold session again today due to a lack of quorum. Majority senators refused to turn up in plenary for a second day. For the minority bloc, this is reason enough to call for the resignation of Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano. The big story tonight from mobile journalist Arles de los Santos.
Once more, members of the Senate majority skipped plenary session. The snub happened Monday and Tuesday, June 1 and 2. Only senators belonging to the minority bloc were present on the floor by 3 p.m. Following a prolonged wait, Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri announced that Senate Secretary Jose Luis Montales informed 11 members present that their majority counterparts have no plans of turning up. At this point, the minority bloc left the hall and held a private meeting at the Senate lounge. While that is going on, Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano went on Facebook Live to explain why he had not convened the Senate session since Monday. Cayetano accused the minority of trying to prevent the resumption of the Blue Ribbon Committee investigation on the flood control scandal.
Sinabi nila na hindi katotohanan ay dahil daw to sa impeachment. Pero yung pala, ayaw na magkaroon ng hearing sa Blue Ribbon na kung saan lalabas ang buong katotohanan.
According to Cayetano, the minority's walkout last week over the proposed online participation in Senate proceedings was part of its attempt to reclaim the leadership and strip the majority of key positions. His bloc's absence for Cayetano is to protest what he believes is a puppet Senate and to ensure the flood mess probe will resume on June 4.
Gusto ba natin na ang Senado ay maging kasangkapan, ay gamitin, no? Para ilabas ang totoo? O ito ay kasangkapan para itago ang totoo? Is the Senate for truth or not? What's important to me is that on Thursday matuloy ang Blue Ribbon and tumuloy-tuloy yung iba't ibang mga committee.
Cayetano then went on to assure the upper chamber is working despite the current division among its members. The majority's focus, aside from the flood control scam investigation, are the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte and enacting laws to help the economy and Filipinos. He ended his online address with a vow to step down if the minority's numbers would lead to it.
Sabi ko naman sa inyo, no? Pumili tayo ng 13, I'm ready to go anytime, any day. Basta't may 13 na. Show me 13, wala nang problema. Ang pakiusap ko lang, let that be 13 that are fighting for the truth so that the truth can finally set all Filipinos free.
After Cayetano's FB Live, the minority bloc went back to the plenary floor and faced the media. They had this statement to fellow senators and the Senate President.
What happened today was a clear abandonment of responsibility, a dereliction of duty, and a blatant disregard of the rules that govern this institution. Because the Senate cannot be made to stop working simply because its presiding officer refuses to lead. Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano should resign, as he has shown that he cannot function as the leader of the Senate anymore.
Citing Rule 14, Section 41 of the Rules of the Upper Chamber, the minority said the SP may postpone the holding of the session only after consultation with the majority leader and the minority leader.
Ako'y naniniwala. This is actually, sa dami na nilalabat na rules ng Senado. It's actually impunity masquerading as assertion of the Senate as an independent institution. Impunity ito. Sunod-sunod ang paglabag.
Senator Raffy Tulfo also hit Cayetano's way of addressing the current Senate issue.
Pinahabol ko si Alan Peter Cayetano. Kung matapang ka, pumunta ka rito bukas. Otherwise, tuwag ka. Ang masakit niyan, imbis na pumasok siya rito, itong si SP Alan, sa Facebook siya, papasok. Dito dapat siya magsalita. Dito dapat siya mag-ibati kung anong gusto niyang gawin. Huwag naman sa social media.
Kapatid Arles de los Santos, we are One News.
And joining us tonight on the big story is Senator Irwin Tulfo. Good evening, Senator. Senator, can you hear us?
Hi, Ses. Good evening.
Good
Thank you
evening.
for inviting me in your program.
All right.
Yeah, I can hear you, Ses. Can you hear me?
Yes. Senator Alan Peter Cayetano alluded to a puppet Senate. Do you believe that that is what the minority bloc stands for?
Well, what we have to fight, Mrs. Ika nga, for the Senate. We have to fight for our rules, our Senate rules. That's what we're fighting for. And including in those rules are like we have to have sessions every day so that we'll be able to pass bills that will become law in the very near future. Unfortunately, if we don't have a quorum, then we cannot conduct any sessions, Mrs.
Mm-hmm. Senator Irwin, ang pasaring niya sa inyo ay gusto niyong magtayo ng isang puppet na Senado.
Hindi ko po maintindihan kung ano po ibig sabihin ng puppet na Senado. I mean, yung sinasabi niyang independence, saan po? Is he talking about na kontrolado po ng administrasyon o na executive ang Senado? Is he talking based on his experience when he was the Speaker of the House, when he was the Speaker of the Congress in 2020, wherein President Rodrigo Duterte stepped in and said, move aside, let Alan Velasco sit as the Senate President, Speaker of the House? Mm-hmm. Yun po ba ibig sabihin niya? Is he talking based on experience na maging Speaker of the House po siya na pumasok po ang administrasyong Duterte para palitan siya. Kaya po siya, ngayon tingin po niya na nakikialam itong administrasyon ngayon?
Mm-hmm. Senator, ang kanyang aligasyon kasi ay ayaw ninyong pabuksan ang flood control investigation ng Blue Ribbon Committee.
Sino po nagsabi sa kanya? Who said that? Wala naman po. I mean, haka-haka niya po. It's a figment of his imagination, Ms. Ses. I mean, we're open. Mag-imbestigaw sila, walang problema. We will attend. If there will be a hearing, then we will attend. Pero kung hindi naman po kami invited, paano po kami mag-attend kung hindi po kami inimbitahan? We're waiting for an invitation to join the subcommittee. As a matter of fact, wala pa nga talaga siyang kumpletong the members of the Mother Committee, the Blue Ribbon, headed by Senator Pia Cayetano. We should have members from the minority in that committee. So subcommittee is the same thing. And fortunately, wala pa naman po siya itinatalaga. Wala pa siya sinasabi sa amin nasaan na yung listahan ng mga members na minority para maging sumali po dito sa subcommittee ng Blue Ribbon. Wala po, Ms. Ses, he did not say that and he did not invite us. Alam po namin na meron pong hearing sa Thursday pero wala naman pong invitation, Ms. Ses.
Ito ang sinasabi niyang dahilan ng inyong pag-walk out. Pero nakita naman natin na ang dahilan ay pinipilit yung pagbabago sa rules. Pero ito po ang sabi niyang totoong dahilan.
No, that's not true, Mrs. We were protecting the institution. We were protecting the rules of the Senate. Para ano pa na gumawa po kami ng mga rules kung hindi naman po susundin. Ang gusto po niya kasi, kasama po si Senator Marcoleta, mag-insert po ng Section 41C na pwede po ang teleconferencing, video conferencing, ang mga senador na hindi kailangan mag-attend sa Senate. Okay lang po yun, Mrs. That's okay. Pero we have to deliberate on it. We have to discuss about it. Ilatag nyo sa amin. Hindi yung pepwersahin mo na, no, we'll just divide the House. That's not the right process, Mrs. The right process should have been, we could have discussed it on the floor. And then, tsaka pag talagang we really disagree, then we can divide the House. Wala pa pong discussions wala pa pong deliberations So how can that be? So gusto nilang lumundag kaagad, Mrs. I mean, they want to cut short. Parang nagmamadali sila. Ito naman po sa kanila, Mrs. Yes, they're protecting also, pero they're protecting the interests of some of their members na para hindi na po mahuli. Or yung mahuli po nung the other day, parang they're protesting na hinuli po yung kasama nila. Iba po yun We are protecting the Senate rules, the institution. Sila naman, they're protecting individuals na may mga warrants of arrest, Mrs.
Senator, it's the second day na walang sesyon. Ano po ang mangyayari bukas? Because some legal luminaries cite Article 4, Section 16 of the Constitution na pwede pong pilitin ang mga ayaw mag-attend na dalhin po sa session hall. Will it come to that?
Wala nga po sila dito. That is only, I believe that's only applicable if they're just in their offices, Mrs. Pero naayon nila mag-attend. Wala nga po, nasa bahay yung iba kung saan-saan lupalo po. Hindi na po matagpuan kung saan yung mga... So, ibig sabihin po, pupuntahan ng USAA, lahat po yan, isa-isa, damputin para mag-attend dito. Ubos po yung oras. Pagdating mo dito, baka alas 6, alas 7 na po ng gabi para makompel po sila. Naintindihan ko po, meron po kaming ganun na rule, pwede silang i-compel. Unfortunately, pag wala naman po sila dito sa premises, how can you compel them? Kung nasa probinsya na po yung iba po nasa Ayala, Alabang or what have you, kung saan silang lugar na nakatira. By the time na bitbitin po sila dito, tapos na siguro 7 or 8 o'clock na po ng gabi, Mrs.
So what's the alternative tomorrow? What do you plan on doing?
It's in their hands, Mrs. The ball is in their hands. Ika nga, kung gusto nila na magtrabaho po, na magkaroon ng quorum, pumasok po sila. Kung ayaw po ni Senator Cayetano, then we are begging our colleagues from the Senate pro tempore, Senator Loren Legarda, the Majority Leader, Senator Villanueva, and the rest of them, please come back to work. Let's sit down, let's work. Marami po tayong gagawing trabaho. Magsisinediya na po sa Thursday or sa Wednesday. Kailangan na po natin magtrabaho bukas bago po tayo magbakasyon. Kasi po, nakakahiya. Ilang linggo na po kayo dyan na majority, wala po tayong naipasa ni isang batas. 3 weeks, Mrs., wala po naipapasin batas ang Senado.
Senator Irwin, you're a neophyte senator. Did you expect that this would happen after, your election?
No, I did not, Mrs. As a matter of fact, but this is baptism of fire for me. I mean, sabi nga ng ibang mga veteran dito, parang ako pa lang po yata na neophyte, wala pa nga pong 1 year, less than 1 year, na meron na pong 3 Senate presidents from Senator Miggs to Cheese to Senator Soto and now to SP Win Gatchalian pag natuloy. So, imagine that, 10 months, almost 4 Senate presidents.
So it's a big disappointment. Maybe that's an understatement.
It is an understatement, Mrs. It is disgusting. It's sad, especially the taxpayers who are paying our salaries when we are not working. Siguro, ikaw din, Mrs. I mean, you're part of that. You're paying our salaries. And then nakikita mo yung money, your money's worth It's not worth it. You're paying somebody to work to pass, to legislate laws, and yet they don't come to work. Yung iba, nakasuhan pa, nagtatago, hiding and running. How would you feel, Mrs.? I mean, you're the employer. You guys are our employers. We are the employees. How come you guys, the employers, have to work every day? You do the daily grind. We just sit in the comforts of our home. We hide because there's a warrant of arrest. How would you feel? Ay, ako po, masama po ang loob ko. Employer po ako. Pagkatapos nagpapasweldo ko, yung pinapasweldohan ko, hindi papasok. Ayaw pumasok dahil nakikiisa sila doon sa kasamahan nila na worker na nakulong. Is that proper? Is that right? Is that justice?
Senator, the EIC of the Philippine Star wants a refund. Of your salary. I-refund daw yung taxes niya na binabayad sa inyo. All right, we thank you for your time.
I can't blame them. I can't blame those people asking for refund. I can't blame them.
We thank you for your time, Senator Irwin Tulfo. Now let's get more insights on these latest developments. We have Dino De Leon, a public interest and human rights lawyer. He's also trustee of the Human Rights and People Empowerment Center Incorporated. Welcome to the Big Story, attorney.
Good evening, Ces, and to all our listeners and viewers.
First, your reaction at what's happening at the Senate. Is this an insidious plan para hindi matuloy ang impeachment trial ni VP Sara?
Well, nakakarimarim, no? Kung kung ang tanong anong nararamdaman natin, nakakarimarim kung meron pang mas malakas doon, actually yung nakakapandiri siguro yung nangyayari, no? And hindi kailangan natin tingnan yung buong political context bago tayo mag-pass ng judgment. And ang malinaw dun sa political context and the chain of events ay nung nagbobotohan na ang Kamara para maiakyat overwhelmingly yung vote para doon sa impeachment trial, biglang nag-change ng Senate leadership, pumasok si Bato de la Rosa. So sa akin, malinaw yan eh. This is connected with the impeachment trial at nasa track record na rin ni Alan Peter Cayetano na pagkapapalitan siya sa Senate leadership, kapit tuko siya dun sa pwesto. If you would recall, nung nagkaroon sila ng gulo nung panahon nung nagkakaroon pa ng power struggles between him and Velasco, Speaker Velasco, he even went up to the extent of convening yung supposed majority and supporters niya sa Celebrity Plaza at kinuha nila yung Senate, yung House seal, no, para lang hindi magkaroon ng session. So Alan Peter Cayetano has the track record of hijacking the entire institution for his political and personal purposes. Kapit tukuyan sa kapangyarihan kahit anong mangyari.
So all the moves leading to the beginning of the impeachment trial are being made. There are dates, there is submission of evidence, etc. But are we being misled here? Is there something going on beneath all these actions that seem to indicate that it will start?
Well, show yan tsaka smokescreen, no? Pero tandaan natin, Ses, na ang napaka-importante, napaka-crucial ng presiding officer pagdating sa any impeachment trial, no? Nakita natin yan sa panahon ng impeachment trial ni Joseph Estrada, napakagaling, napakahusay, no? At patas ni Chief Justice Hilario Davide. Nung panahon ng impeachment ni Corona, ganun din, no? Yung kay Chief Justice Davide, kaya nagkaganon is because pinigilan yung pagbubukas ng ebidensya against the advice, di ba? Kita naman natin sa facial expression tsaka sa advice ni Chief Justice Hilario Davide. Bumoto yung institusyon kaya nagalit yung taong bayan. Nung kay Chief Justice Corona, napakalinaw na nung simula mas maraming mga senator judges ang hindi inclined para mag-convict. Right. Pero nung lumabas yung ebidensya, kailangan nila i-convict. What's the point, no? Ang laki ng kapangyarihan ng presiding officer para mag-suppress ng ebidensya. So, sana hindi ito smokescreen. Wala namang choice ang Senado kasi fourth wing na nakalagay sa Constitution. Hindi na naman mukha namang hindi na nakakuha ng relief from the Supreme Court. So matutuloy na talaga ito. Ang question though is, would they be fair in allowing pieces of evidence to be open? No? At crucial dyan yung presiding officer. Kaya gustong-gusto nila na dapat si Alan Peter Cayetano. Kasi alam naman natin na siya yung kayang makipagbalitaktakan dyan. No? In fact, right now, napaka-unconventional na yung Senate President, hindi nagpe-preside. Iba nagpe-preside para siya yung kayang makipagbalitaktakan to twist reasoning. Kasi kita mo hindi kumukurap si Alan Peter Cayetano kahit na hindi na logical at hindi na legally sound yung kanyang reasoning. Basta lang ma-railroad yung proseso, basta lang ma-forward yung kanyang point of view. No? So I think yun ang plano kahit na mangyari, mas maganda kung siya yung presiding officer to prevent the introduction of evidence and to suppress as much evidence as possible para hindi mapilitan na bumoto sila for conviction eventually.
Now, this is the real reason why, sorry to use the term, kapituko sa Senate presidency.
Yan yung sa aking palagay. Apart from the fact na ganoon talaga si Alan Peter, di ba? Napaka-importante sa kanyang nasa poder. Kasi sana man napaglalagyan ni Alan Peter Cayetano after kung umalis siya sa gobyerno, di ba? Very limited ang practice, di ba? Very limited rin naman ang kanyang background. So talagang kinakailangan niya, and he will do whatever it takes to remain in power and to at least as much as possible hanggang kaya yung pinakamataas na poder ng kapangyarihan. No? So it's also because of his personal ambition, his personal selfish interests, apart from the fact that he will, the majority, especially yung mga affiliated at yung mga loyalists ni Rodrigo Duterte, they will do whatever it takes to prevent the impeachment or the conviction of Sara Duterte. May nagsabi na rin naman natin, hindi naman lingid sa ating kaalaman. May nagsasabi nga ng senador na kahit sunugin siya, mag-aamoy Duterte pa rin siya. No? So yun talaga yung political context ng ito. Kaya nga rin namin nilaunch yung Bantay Senado kasi alam namin na talagang susubukan lang pigilan yung napakalinaw na ebidensya nung House proceedings na kailangan talagang maisa publiko at matest yung credibility doon sa Senado. Kasi even Sara Duterte has the right to confront these witnesses and pieces of evidence. Ang tanong lang is, willing ba siyang gawin yun? Kasi nakikita ko na naman kanina sa answer niya, pinapadismiss niya instead of confronting the veracity of these pieces of evidence and testimonies.
And does the majority have the numbers to dismiss?
Well, alam mo, ngayon 11-11 kasi sila, di ba? Ang kailangan mo lang talaga kahit na absent yung dalawa is 16 kasi ang nakalagay sa konstitusyon sa ligang batas natin is 2/3 of the Senate, no? Not only those who are in attendance. So, ang tanong is, makakakuha ba tayo ng 16? Sa aking palagay, kung malinaw yung ebidensya, magmumukha kasi silang katawa-tawa at magagalit na naman yung taong bayan. Nakita na natin, Cesar, and let's not test the patience of the public, no? Magalit na ang publiko dahil binababoy ang institusyon ng Senado, binababoy yung accountability, ninanakaw ang ating pera sa flood control, maawa naman tayo, di ba, doon sa mga biktima ng flood control, ng korupsyon. And then, again, ang ipaprioritize naman ay yung pag-prevent ng ebidensya. So, magagalit talaga ang taong bayan at alam nila yon. Nangyari na yan noong panahon ni Chief Justice Corona, nangyari na kay panahon ni Erap Estrada na we went to the streets. That was my first ever political awakening. I was in grade 7, but I vividly remember that I was in EDSA 2 because people were angry and the mobilization then was through texts pa lang, no? So hindi malayo na kung nakita ng taong bayan ebidensya at i-acquit pa rin nila, talagang magbabayad sila sa taong bayan. So they don't have any other choice once the evidence is there. So the key for them is to prevent the introduction of that evidence na magmumukha pa rin silang reasonable.
Exactly. They may just outright dismiss even before you present the evidence. You are counsel, correct, of the second impeachment versus the VP?
Correct. And that's the reason why we've weighed the pieces of evidence heavily, and we are aware of the pieces of evidence that were introduced. So meron din yan. At sinubukan nilang gawin yan. Kung maalala mo noong bago pa yung intervention ng Supreme Court, yan ang gusto nila Alan Peter mismo na i-dismiss yan. So they will try that again because they cannot afford to have a trial. At galit na naman sa kanila yung taong bayan eh, no? And I think hindi nahihiya na itong mga senador, particular kay Alan Peter, no, the mere fact that you can quote the Bible with a straight face and use the name of the Lord in vain every single time, no? And act as if he is in your side despite the fact that you're preventing accountability. Ibig sabihin yan, talagang hindi na sila madadala sa hiya, no? Hindi na madadala sa hiya to si Alan Peter. So hopefully, kung si Alan Peter hindi madadala sa hiya, sana one or two of his colleagues madala pa sa hiya, no, madala pa sa konsensya, maalala nila na ang mandato nila to serve the public, to abide by the Constitution. At alam mo, Ses, kung meron silang reklamo, meron silang hinaing, ang perfect na pwedeng sabihin yun ay Senate floor. Kaya nga sila may parliamentary immunity. Whatever they say in that rostrum, di ba, sa Senate floor, protected yan by no less than the Constitution. So bakit sila hindi nag-a-attend? Alam mo kung bakit? There's only one reason. They are no longer certain that they are still the majority. Baka one or two, alam naman nila yan, na nakakausap yung mga colleagues nila eh.
Baka meron ng lumipat. Yun ang
Correct.
hindi siya sigurado na hawak pa niya.
Correct. Oo, kasi imagine mo kung ano pa mas perfect na platform para sabihin na pinaghihimasukan, under attack ang Senate. Di ba Senate floor? Tapos wala pa silang any kind of liability
Right now,
whatsoever.
it's Facebook Live.
Yun na nga mas marami pang oras tong si Alan Peter Cayetano na mag-Facebook Live kaysa mag-articulate sa Senate floor. Last time I checked, he is a senator, he is a Senate president and not a vlogger. Diba? Ngayon mukha siyang vlogger Diba? Bakit natin pinapasweldohan kung vlogger pala siya? Mag-rely na lang siguro siya sa income sa Facebook views, diba?
Now, on to another senator. It was your complaint that the investigation group of the ombudsman took to file plunder charges against Senator Marcoleta. It was your complaint. Now, what do you think? Is he going to be the next one to be arrested? Because there's already a whole departure order out from the Sandigan Bayan.
Correct, Ses. Kung maalala mo, kami nag-file kasi lumabas sa bibig niya na yung sa sose niya, hindi niya dineclare daw kasi meron siyang mga matatalik na kaibigan. So we filed a complaint. Pero just to correct, yung complaint namin buhay pa. Ang dinismiss ng COMELEC, ang dinismiss ng COMELEC is yung disqualification case, motu proprio nila. Pero yung disqualification case namin buhay pa, they haven't acted on it yet. And yung complaint ko sa ombudsman on the perjury was referred to the COMELEC for proper action. Dalawang endorsement na yan. So meron pang dalawang kaso itong si Marcoleta na hindi pa na-dismiss from our group. Yung motu proprio investigation lang yung na-dismiss. Having said that, in the motu proprio investigation, which was triggered by this issue, kasi kami rin naman yung una nagsabi na kakasuhan namin siya, doon isinumite nitong si Marcoleta nag-legal gymnastics para makatakas doon sa disqualification case sa disqualification case para makatakas siya nagsumite siya ng mga dokumento saying na yung donation happened before he filed as a candidate and therefore he cannot be disqualified because he was not yet considered as a candidate. Pero doon nga ako na medyo na shock as a lawyer and na embarrassed to tell you honestly, Says with all honesty. Na embarrassed ako kasi it's the lawyer who supplied the pieces of evidence that led him to plunder. Because of his desire to get out of his legal problem in terms of the disqualification, ikinanal niya yung sarili niya para doon sa plunder because it only means na he accepted all of these donations worth 75 million and in connection with his office because of that is a presumption kasi nakaupo siyang congressman nung tinanggap niya yung 75 million and as a congressman very powerful to implement and influence the outcome of policies including tax breaks, including granting licenses and concessions at iba pa. So makapangyarihan ng congressman. So ang assumption is by reason of his office kasi congressman siya nung tinanggap niya yung 75 million. So siya ang nagsupply, para lang malinaw, siya ang nagsupply ng mga ebidensya na to, sworn statements.
But Dino, the narrative now is it's political persecution.
Okay. Says ayokong magpanggap na politics does not have anything to do with all the filings, I think sa lahat, no, na-prioritize talaga siya, no? Bakit? Kasi siya yung makapangyarihan na nagiging balakid sa accountability, no? So I think talagang may politics, pero hindi kasi yun yung usapin eh. Ang usapin, regardless of the politics, are the accusations true? And the accusations are true based on evidence because he himself admitted and supplied all of these things. So,
So,
for them to say, pinupolitika lang sila and all, na para ba silang biktima, that's not, it misses the point entirely. The point is, may pananagutan ka pa at kasama talaga yan sa politics. So, saying like a magic word, politika lang ito, does not excuse you from liability. In fact, dahil politika ito, dapat handa ka na harapin itong mga aligasyon na ito, lalong-lalo na mga ebidensya laban sa'yo. Yes, it may also be political and
yes,
we are not
would
all
you
naive.
say, sorry to interrupt, that this is a very smart move by the ombudsman?
This is a smart and fair move by the ombudsman, and in all, when you are the state, there is also always prioritization in the filing of charges. We would be happy if lahat ng mga 'di ba kriminal ay ma-filean. Tama naman 'yon, no? Pero kung na-prioritize siya dahil sa politics, that's beside the point. The point is, are the accusations correct and true? And it's true based on evidence he himself supplied.
But then, if there's a whole departure order, the days, we're counting the days till his arrest. Can we say that?
Pwedeng-pwede 'yon, no, kasi 'pag na-i-file na yung information, hindi naman nag-i-issue yung yung Sandigan Bayan ng precautionary whole departure order na walang basis, no. So in-evaluate nila yung initial pieces of evidence submitted bago sila naglabas nun. So the moment na the information will be filed, yes, tingin ko pwede maka-issue yung Sandigan Bayan within the same day or even the next day, the moment that information is filed based on evidence on record na siya rin naman na nag-supply. Gusto ko lang sabihin, Rances, dun sa issue ng precautionary whole departure order, ha. Ang sabi kasi ni Marcoleta, Senator Marcoleta, is marami kasi talaga siyang mga kaibigan na nagmamalasakit sa kanya, na nag-donate sa kanya 75 million pesos, no. Gusto ko lang sabihin na dinamay niya yung mga kaibigan niya sa plunder, no, at saka sa whole departure order, at saka sa indirect bribery. Dahil sa kanya, kinonvince niya na mag-execute ng sworn affidavit itong mga ito, admitting that they've made huge sums of donations while he is a congressman, which is tantamount to plunder, no. So ganyang kabait na kaibigan mukha, no. Ewan ko kung nadamay sila, pinagsisisihan ba nila, but definitely nadamay sila dito sa kaso ni Marcoleta through them executing these pieces of evidence linking them to the plunder case.
And lastly, you've always said that BBM is a weak president. Now, given the latest moves of the administration, has your perception changed?
Well, I am pleasantly surprised, no? With the administration, no? And syempre, kasi kung titingnan natin strictly legal, this is the Ombudsman's Act, di ba? Which is a independent constitutional body. But, he was appointed by the president. I'm pleasantly surprised with the arrest of Rodrigo Duterte, with those people going to jail. I am by the way, rooting for this president because his success is our success. In the same manner that I am rooting for the success of the Senate because that's the reason why we launched Bantay Senado. No? So I am surprised right now. I'm pleasantly surprised, and I hope that he will continue to really say, kasi sinabi niya naman, that his presidency is different from that of his father.
Well, we thank you for your time, Attorney Dino De Leon. You are watching The Big Story on One News, and when we return, we have details of this story.
Ano ba ang pinapalagan ni Senator Alan Cayetano? Saan ba nakialam ang Pangulo? So papaano magkakaroon ng pagtutulungan kung merong magmamataas, merong hindi tutupad sa batas, at merong maghahari-harian?
ang pabo at ang matsi ay minsan nakatagpo ng isang punong saging na lumulutan sa gitna ng umaagos na ilog.
Now there's President Bongbong Marcos reading to learners this morning. He led the Brigada Eskwela campaign at the Kapitbahayan Elementary School in Nabotas. School opens next week. Now on to more stories. Senator Jinggoy Estrada is requesting the Sandigan Bayan for online proceedings, while former Public Works Secretary Manny Bonoan is asking for hospital arrest. Both are facing plunder and graft charges over the flood control mess. Estrada is asking for remote court attendance so he can still fulfill his duties as a senator. And it looks like the presiding judge is amenable to hearings via teleconferencing. But Estrada still has to get permission from the Senate to allow him remote participation as well. Earlier, Estrada's arraignment for his graft case was suspended due to pending motions to junk all charges against him. The proceeding was moved to June 4, the same day of his plea hearing for plunder. And before returning to his cell at the new Quezon City jail, Estrada only had one comment: a greeting for his mother, Loy Ejercito.
Well, gusto ko lang batiin nanay ko ng happy 96th birthday. Happy birthday, Mom.
Meantime, Bonoan's arraignment was also postponed due to his health. He came to the Sandigan Bayan in a wheelchair and recently had a hypertensive episode. Bonoan will remain at the PNP General Hospital. He has a petition for a hospital arrest, while his lawyers will also file a motion to quash all charges tomorrow. And moving on, the National Police Commission has expressed support for the newly formed EJK Truth Commission. The independent civilian-led body was launched on May 27. Its task is to document extrajudicial killings and other alleged abuses linked to former President Rodrigo Duterte's drug war. NAPOLCOM said the effort is important to promote accountability, strengthen public trust, and help the families of victims seek justice. The EJK Truth Commission is headed by former ICC Judge Raul Pangalangan, with the Pablo Cardinal David as advisor. Members include forensic pathologist Raquel Fortun, peace advocate Alf Fuertes, theologian Daniel Pilario, and human rights researcher Carlos Conde. And now we are joined by none other than, she wants to be known as the Doctor of the Dead, one of the members of the commission, Dr. Raquel Fortun. Welcome to the Big Story.
Hi.
Doc. I have to disclose, first of all, to get this out of the way, we were classmates in UP High, UPIS, and also batchmates in Towns, the Towns organization. So there, I got that out of the way. I hope that's the reason why you relented to our request.
Oh yes, this is so special that I'm here.
Thank you so much. First, clarification. You really want the Truth Commission to focus only on the drug war. And so you were saying ahead of when we were off cam that it should not be all EJKs.
Yes.
All right.
That's because if you form a Truth Commission, there has to be limits, like what event, what's the period, and so on. Otherwise, it can go on and on.
And already this task
is huge.
Is really huge.
Yes.
Are you going to have real accounting of all the victims? Because the police records are only 6,000 to 7,000, while human rights advocates and other groups put it at the tens of thousands, reaching maybe even 60,000? So,
hindi naman yata 60.
Okay.
Sabi nila 30. But the thing is, we don't have the right number. Nobody's counting. And that's the problem in the Philippines. I keep saying that we don't really have a death investigation system where you have a violent death and that is automatically investigated. So you have records. And that's what happened in the so-called drug war.
Most especially so.
Yes.
Talagang hindi ginawa
Yes.
intentionally.
Likely intentionally. Kasi, yung mga pumapatay, sila ang mag-iimbestiga. Bakit naman nila iimbestigan yung sarili nila? And there was failure of institutions, practices, procedures, and so on. Kasi kung talagang seryoso ka, matitigil yan eh. But then, nakakalusot eh. Walang accountability. So, tuloy-tuloy lang. And that's so unfortunate because so many died.
Hindi ka bago dito. You've been doing this, hence your role here. What was the most, shall we say, I don't want to call it the most terrible finding that you made, but maybe striking.
Marami.
Hindi lang iisa.
Okay.
Okay.
But I can cite,
Can you cite?
I can cite something. Like for instance, ang dami nilang tama sa ulo. And hindi lang isa. Multiple shots. May tama na sa ulo, na several, more than one. May tama pa sa chest. That tells you deliberate killing yan. But if you're going to ask me if there's a particular case that you find striking, oh yes, let me cite one where there was a picture of him right after he died, the face. And there were lacerations around the mouth. Training ko yan eh, forensic pathology. Anong significance niyan? Ang unang ko inisip, ano to? Intraoral. Intraoral.
What does that mean?
Eh di pinasok
Yung baril sa bibig?
sa bibig.
Baril.
Okay? Yung baril. Yes. Talaga deliberate yan.
But why?
I don't know.
Kasi I thought mga ganyang crimes of passion, not necessarily, hindi.
Masyado naman dramatic yung crimes of passion. But talagang papatayin ka. And apparently, kasi nga walang investigation, makakalusot ka. Impunity.
Okay. So, ibig sabihin, naging very bold.
Oh, yes.
Very inhuman. Yung lumabas yung pinakamasama na ugali.
Apparently. And ang maganda naman sa akin, I had the opportunity to check. Because that was one case we exhumed.
Okay. And exhumed after how long a period?
Years. At least 5, usually. And dito mo ma-check. Although by this time, wala na yung soft tissue. Wala na yung face. Wala na yung skin.
Yes. So how
However,
yeah.
nandun yung buto. And
You can tell?
oh yes.
How? Kung buto na lang, sabi mo, lacerations. Diba?
Kung may skin pa, like the picture, I saw the lacerations.
I
And
see,
ang una ko inisip, ano to, intraoral? Kasi yung pressure, gaganyan yan, tapos talagang maglalacerate. But then now I have the exhumed body, kahit na sabihin mong skeleton yan, kung binaril ka dito, tatama yung patalikod yan. May makikita kang fractures.
And
yes.
And it confirmed what?
Yun ang nilagay ko sa aking opinion, that it was an intraoral gunshot wound, among others.
Okay, and the police report said what?
Ayan, isa pa yung frustration. I don't have the police reports.
It wasn't even recorded?
Sometimes, even the death certificate is not complete. Like, halimbawa, see the back page. Parang ganon. Eh, sa Pilipinas kasi may back page. Dapat yan, sa front sila nagsusulat. There's nothing there. And anyway, kung meron man, anong nakalagay doon? Like, I remember that case, walang sinabi about gunshot wound to the head. Kasi head area yan eh. Trunk. Sabi ko, ano to? Na-miss niya? Pag-switch ba niya? Kasi dalawa silang pinatay nun eh. Na-miss ba niya? Whatever. I don't have access to autopsy reports. I try getting them.
Which means you have to do the autopsy over again. You have to exhume the remains.
Yeah.
Is this what the Truth Commission will be doing?
I hope so. Ang
Anong
inaas-
hope? You mean
hindi,
you're not yet
hindi.
sure?
Well, nandun pa kami sa initial stage pa lang eh. Kalo-launch nga lang namin eh. And nagpaplano pa kami. Pero yun yung inaasahan
That is what you
ko.
recommend.
Yes.
That is what you will
I'm in
be. Okay.
I'm in a position now to ask for information, which I could not do before. Why? Eh, ako lang naman eh. Sino ba ako? Like halimbawa, hihingi ako ng hospital records because sabi nila itong taong to, namatay sa ospital eh. Nakita. So, anong findings ng hospital? Pero yung something as simple as that, idadaan mo na dun sa relative. It's not easy. It's not easy.
So this gives you the access.
Yes.
But it's a huge task. How will you prioritize?
To be honest with you, at some point, excited. Truthcom. This is an opportunity for me to help. But then at some point, naisip ko, what did I get myself into?
Yes.
Kasi ang taas din ng expectations. And sa akin din, I'm really after results. I'm just hoping na may mangyayari.
How much will it cost? Para sabihin na
Okay.
because I understand from Kaloy, who was we talked to last week when this was launched, that you are also seeking funding from various NGOs or institutions. So, how much will it cost to do your job right? If you had all the resources, ano ba ang amount na kailangan mo? Para baka may nanonood dyan na, you know, because the importance of this is we really need to know the truth, right?
Oh, yes.
To move
That's the
forward.
point. That's the point.
To move forward as
To
a
help.
nation.
Oh, yes. If you ask me for figures, mahirap yan.
Okay,
But
sige
I
na.
can give you an idea what
So, anong
it
tools
takes.
ang kailangan mo? Anong mga
I'm happy.
resources?
Yeah, I'm happy that I am still with the Department of Pathology of the UP College of Medicine. I have a very supportive chair, dean, and UP Manila Chancellor. I've been doing the examination of exhumed remains since 2021 when Father Flavi started exhuming.
So,
dinala
how
sa
many have you
akin.
done so
I
far?
think
How many have-
from Father Flavi, it's about 138 since July of 2021.
A drop in the bucket.
Oh, yes, definitely. And then other parties have sent exhumed remains as well. I think an additional 8.
Okay.
And then on top of that, early on, 2016 to 2018, I saw 20 cases for autopsy. So may na-autopsy ako, pero
Okay.
konti lang.
Pero maaga pa
konti.
nun.
Maaga pa nun.
Okay. 20 brought to you by whom? The families?
Families,
Okay.
NGOs, the CSOs.
So, wala pang 200.
Oo. Ang konti-konti niyan. Tingnan natin kung makahabol pa tayo ng
O kaya nga,
cases.
so anong resources ang kailangan mo?
Well, sa
Kala mo
ngayon,
naman.
magdodonate ka?
Hindi, mananawagan tayo.
So sa ngayon, sila Father Flavi, pagka nagre-refer, nung umpisa, sagot nila pati x-rays. Nagbabayad kami sa PGH nun. But the good news is right now, we have the machine in the morgue and winave na ng PGH and UP Manila yung. So libre. Okay.
Kumbaga
Why
donation ay ng UP Manila.
Why
ng
x-rays?
UPPJ.
That's the first thing I ask for. I get the body bag with the remains inside. X-ray ka muna bago ko siya galawin. Why? Bala. And marami kong nakitang cases na may bala. So see?
A simple x-ray
yes.
will already tell you.
Makikita mo doon. And these are bullets missed na kuno autopsy before. Or talagang there was no examination at all. And then the morgue, we can accommodate these body bags. Yun yung problema ko nung umpisa eh. When Father Flavi started sending, sabi ko, saan ko ito lalagay? So I had to scrounge around for a room. Buti chair ako nun eh. So I had control. Ito yung sinasabi ng mga international media na stock room converted into an examination room. And then you have tables sourced from the junkyard. Imagine that. So, well, you know, but this is UP training.
A ragtag.
This is UP training. You make do
You
with
make
what
do
you've
with
got.
what you have. Oo.
And that's it. That's the plan. But hopefully nga, may magbigay ng resources.
You have the
We're
church
planning.
that's backing you.
Oh, yes. We're planning, I hope, exhumations. I've been making a call for the unclaimed, unidentified. What happened to them? And I've heard mass graves here and there.
Mass graves.
Yeah, mass graves. And can we not exhume? You know, this is anthropology. We can do it. At least we have additional numbers.
Do you have the manpower?
Yeah, I have a forensic anthropologist from Monash University with me right now.
Okay. Lastly, we've run out of time. Thank you so much for coming over. I wish we could talk longer. But what is your real goal? What will make you feel that this was a worthy endeavor for you and for the country?
It's simply to help. That's how I started when I began the examinations. Nakakaawa itong mga taong to. They never even had the opportunity to be examined. So here I am trying to do what I can. And now that I am part of the Truth Commission, again, to help the survivors, their next of kin, the dead body in front of me.
You always say the dead have rights.
Yes. Kasi like one is, human dignity.